Hey, what's up, Minnesota Viking fans? Welcome to the Purple People Podcast. My name is Kyle Smith. Thank you guys for joining us. We got a full house this week. Let's start with the man that's been out for a couple weeks. Glad to have him back. Dorian Foley, what's up, my brother?
What's going on, everybody? Skull Vikings, all that groovy stuff.
Hell yeah, man. Nice to see you back. Kyle West, how you doing, sir?
All right.
I don't think you heard us. I don't know if it was you.
I know he's having some internet problems right now, so in the picture he's just kind of standing there like a robot, making this even funnier.
Yeah, he's just looking at me like Red Foreman right now, like, don't talk to me, I hate you.
Yeah, he'll probably be jumping in and out all day, so.
Adam Carlson, we were worried that you would be without a home, but it looks like you found something for now. Is that still your place?
I was only homeless for 3.5 hours.
Okay. All right,
so
good.
Things worked out all right.
So this is the new place.
I'm at the new place.
Okay.
Internet here twice as good as the other place, so this is going to be good times.
Very nice. All right, man. Well, I'm glad you got that figured out. Kyle will be jumping back in a second. He's popping in and out of our screens right now. But thank you, everybody that's joined us, anybody in the chat so far. If not, if you're going to watch this is a great week to talk about football. This is episode number 312 on the Purple People podcast called Diggs'n for Gold. If you guys didn't hear the blockbuster news, we're going to go in depth about it. But Stefon Diggs is going to be a Minnesota Viking, till 2023, I believe. It's a 5-year. So, yeah, it's crazy. Really excited to have him locked in. So that's going to be the main topic for today's show. But before we jump into that, we always do quick hits on the show if you're unfamiliar. So we're going to jump right into some quick hits, and we're going to jump in with the offensive line first. Adam, you want to take this one?
No. Why do you want to give me this one?
I don't know, man. It's your wheelhouse, so I figured why not?
It's your stick.
Injuries are my wheelhouse? You don't give me Don't you take all the positive stuff and give me all the injuries.
Don't you spin this around negatively.
Don't you do that to me.
Mike Rimmers. All right. I wanted to give this one to Adam because he's our offensive line guru. But Mike Rimmers is injured in practice on Tuesday. He left early and returned with a walking boot on his left leg. Not a good sign.
No.
Not a good sign at all.
No.
I don't like that news.
But let's look at the kind of positive side of this because Mike Rimmers wasn't going to be the right tackle this year. They were talking about having him at right guard. And right guard, a little bit easier to replace than right tackle. So the Vikings do have some depth on the interior, which is good. You're going to have guys like Danny Isadora fighting for a little bit more time during training camp and preseason. So depending on the severity of this injury to Mike Rimmers, we'll have to see where it all goes. But for now, I'm not super concerned. If Rimmers was locked in as the right tackle, I'd be more concerned. But for right now, I'm just trying to wait and get the news as it comes.
Yeah, I saw a comment yesterday I was kind of taken back by just because I thought it was like generic Viking news that a lot of people would understand. But like, oh, this is great news. This means other guys get reps. I'm like, not for that contract that he has. And, oh, by the way, he's a starter. I don't care where – okay, I do care where he is on the line, but he's a starter either at right tackle or guard, wherever the coaches decide to put him. A starter is down. We will keep you posted each week, so check back next week. Hopefully we'll have an update for you. But thoughts, prayers to Mike Rimmers. We really need you, buddy. Hoping a speedy recovery. I hope it's a minor injury, so we shall see. What day is the first – what date officially is the opener? Not preseason, any of that stuff.
Season opener?
The season opener, isn't it the 11th?
Boy, I don't know.
I'm looking through. Let me check here.
I have no idea, to be honest. I'm just trying to take each day as it comes.
I believe it's September the 9th.
Yep, it's 9/9 at noon.
Okay, so he officially has, let's look through here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. So that's a positive if you're looking at the injury, if it's nothing crazy, and get him back up to speed. He is going to miss reps. But like we said, the other guys are going to get reps. And
he's a veteran, so missing those reps probably isn't as essential. He can still study the new schemes and everything, which is great. He'll be able to understand the terminology and what's expected. The only thing he won't be able to do is walk through it on the field. But I'm sure, much to like other Vikings players, he'll probably be there in practice, observing and learning. So, again, not too worried.
That's what we're going to tell ourselves anyway.
Yeah, we're going to lie to ourselves and say it's going to be fine as we like rock back and forth. Saying, oh, God, not again.
Not unless if he purifies his leg in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Just don't do it on a love boat. Just don't do it on no boat.
That's a good point. Moving right along, Minnesota reached out to former head coach and offensive line guru Mike Tice, but the two sides were unable to come to a deal for the Vikings offensive line coaching position.
Cool.
That was interesting. Saw a lot of mixed reviews on the internet about that. But
what do you think, Dorian? You're over there chuckling. Did you want Mike Tice back?
Oh, I fucking love Mike Tice.
Yeah, I know. I kind of did too. He had no fucking control over the team, but I kind of liked Mike Tice.
That's why I say there was a lot of mixed reviews from the comments I saw, but it was interesting to see that they went back to him and asked him, since he has a little bit of familiarity with the organization, not necessarily with this team. But Adam, what are your thoughts?
The way the Vikings let go of Mike Tice wasn't exactly the best. So there may be a little bit of bitterness there, but anytime you can get in someone familiar with the franchise, and especially this late in the offseason, trying to bring in a new coach, especially an important one like on the offensive line, just so challenging. So I don't blame them for reaching out one bit.
I mean, like we talked about last week, the unfortunate passing of and kind of sudden passing of Tony Sperano. We had to find a replacement, and rather quick. You know, this sucks that it had to be this time of year as well. But I'm not mad at him for reaching out to, like I said, a former coach and offensive line guru, as we said in the notes. I'm not mad about it, but we did end up picking someone, and it's kind of a unique situation. There's a co-coaching job going on. To the next quick hit, Clancy Barone and Andrew Janako have been named co-offensive coordinators, which is I wasn't expecting a co-offensive coordinator.
We are saying co-offensive line coach, right?
Yes, I'm looking in the notes. My bad. Co-offensive line coaches. So we'll go through their resume really quick. Clancy Barone was previously the tight ends coach. Janaka was the assistant O-line coach. So having two minds there and then being familiar, I mean, that makes me feel a lot better. I haven't heard of this a lot, if ever, where two guys split up the same kind of job. But on the fly with patchwork and we have to get stuff done and we have to coach a team, I'm not mad at the team's decision to do this.
Coach was and got the job solo. But, I guess if you can have two minds there to help out, that's great. But the interesting move there was Todd Downing going from the senior offensive assistant to the tight ends coach to take Barone's spot. So this whole shuffle did kind of move things around in a really weird way. But I do believe that this is something that really could benefit the tight ends because they're getting Todd Downing, who's got a little bit more experience and a little bit more of an a broad offensive standpoint to bring to the team. So I do think this is a major help to the tight ends unit as a whole. And it's yet to be seen how this will work out for the offensive line coaches. But I'm optimistic and I'm hopeful. So let's see how these guys do.
I'm really happy with this note in here, and I wanted to make sure that we put emphasis on it. Now, obviously, it's a different organization, a different set of players, but Clancy Barone previously worked as the offensive line coach for the Broncos in 2010 with that magical Tebow season, and in 2015 and 2016. So he is a Super Bowl winning coach, and for the offensive line. They held up Peyton Manning's old ass for a whole season. So if anybody can get the best out of their players, I like that a lot. So I'm happy with this as best we could. This is kind of what the Vikings do. We just adapt and overcome, you know, whether it be the unfortunate passing away of a coach or injuries that we've been hit with, it seems like every single year for the last couple of years. They do a good job. So I'm excited to see what these guys can do. The Vikings announced on Wednesday they announced a promotion of 5 front office staff members to executive positions and multiple other promotions throughout the organization. So we're going to run through those. Project executive Don Becker was promoted to executive vice president of real estate development and strategic projects.
What was really cool with that one is that he had a lot to do with the land acquisition in Eagan as well as the pushing for the new stadium. So Don Becker is getting rewarded in a big way for his efforts, which is awesome.
That's pretty awesome. You don't take these things into account. You just think about a general manager, an owner, and a coach. You don't think about all the other stuff that goes into it. By the way, I listen to Pro Football Talk. You guys know I love a lot of football and sports-related podcasts.
Sure.
Mike Florio was there, and he raved. He said, I haven't been to AT&T Stadium. We haven't been to Jury's World down in Dallas. But he said he's never seen a facility this nice until he got to the Vikings facility, and he got to talk to everyone. walking around because Stephon Diggs was on a show. He invited him to come out, and he said, "I'll buy the donuts." He said, "I had an open invite," and I think he talked with Mike Wobschall as well about the team's expectations this year, as we do at the beginning of August and the end of July. But I wanted to throw that in there too, man. That everybody's raving about it. So Mr. Don Becker, I'm sure he had a nice little hand in that.
Oh, absolutely.
Assistant General Manager George Patton, we've heard his name a couple of times, has been promoted to Vice President of Player Personnel and Assistant General Manager.
Yeah, he got that nice little tag of Vice President of Player Personnel in there. And let's be honest, right now the Vikings are doing anything they can to not lose George Patton to be the GM of another team. He's got so much experience. Teams have reached out to him on several occasions. The team and Patton himself have denied interviews a couple of times. And Minnesota wants to do everything they can to keep him by Rick Spielman's side. And even just a promotion like this, that's just a little bit more to show respect. Hopefully that'll go a long way in proving how much the Vikings appreciate what he does.
Do you think in the event, I'm not claiming it or wishing for it, but do you think in the event if Spielman is relieved of his duties, do you think he can step in? The Vikings
absolutely. Absolutely. I think any team right now would be happy to have George Patton as their general manager. And if something happens to where Spielman's unable to perform his duties, I firmly believe the Vikings will have no problem letting him step in and take on the role.
That's a good question by Dorian. Solid question. That would be excuse my language. That'd be shitty circumstances, but yeah, that I would be interested to ask that. That's a good question by you.
The next one is one though that'll make Mr. West very happy. That's what I'm excited about.
Is he back?
I'm only asking just for the fact for what Adam just said about him denying interviews.
Yeah.
Like that's really big if he's actually having other, job offers that could potentially pay him or whatever, way more than whatever, we're paying him.
Right.
That's real strong, sign that telltale that he really loves the organization, respects it and wants to continue to be with us as we continue to elevate and grow. So,
well, him and Rick Spielman are pretty much as close to best friends as you can get in the NFL.
Oh, okay.
So that